Hey, how are you? I'm Kevin Kenny, and welcome to a brand new edition of Billboard In Studio. Our guest today, the legendary Grammy Award winner, Ashanti.
I love that intro.
It sounds good every time, right?
Thank you.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Love you, babe.
I mean, can I throw some facts?
Uh-oh.
I don't want to make you feel embarrassed,
Let's
but
do it.
for anyone watching right now at home that is not, well acquainted with your resume, with your track record,
Okay.
you are the first woman to ever, in the history of music, have 3 songs in the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10. Get another round of applause for that.
Hey.
And I'm not even going to stop there. I got one more for you. You're the first woman ever to have the number 1 and the number 2 song in America at the very same time.
Hey.
It's incredible.
I appreciate it.
It's amazing.
You know what? I have to say this, though. On a technicality, I wrote Ain't It Funny.
Ain't that funny?
So it was really 4 records.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know you wrote that.
Yeah, I wrote that for J-Lo.
That could have been 4. And it was 4.
It
You know what?
was
I'm giving
4.
you the 4. I'm giving you the 4. We're rewriting the Billboard history books right now. But, I mean, you have an amazing track record, but you're here today for a very good reason. And one I'm excited to talk to you about, your new single, Say Less.
Yes.
Incredible.
Like it in my face, say less. If it ain't about the money, say less.
Thank you.
Ty Dolla $ign. It's a mustard beat. And
Yes.
I gotta tell you this love affair. I say it's an affair like I'm skipping out on a song, but my loving relationship that I've built over the past week or so with this song, because I knew you were coming in, you were gonna be a guest on the show here. So I start going back to the catalog, listening to Ashanti, and I'm gonna be honest, first day or two, it's like heavy on foolish,
Okay.
heavy on, heavy on happy, heavy on always on time, I should say. And then, creeping in there was Say Less. And I gotta say, right now, all I'm playing is Say Less.
See, I love this guy. My guy. My guy.
No, but I'm
Thank you.
being honest. I'm not just saying that. I mean, literally, because you're in a tough position because and not a lot of artists go through this because you reach such a rarefied air of success. You became, we're going to talk about the 5 rules of mastering the hustle in a little bit, and one of those rules is, making classics as opposed to hits, right? But when you make classic records, you have these diehard fans that, you grow past the songs, and you're a music fan just like we are. You're listening to the radio in 2017. You're developing new tastes and inspirations, but you still got to satisfy when you make new music. You still got to satisfy your diehard fans. So
Yes.
which way do you go, right? Do you go like 02, 03, 04 Ashanti, or do you give
Right.
us something totally new? You can't go too far in each direction.
Exactly.
So can you talk about because you did it masterfully.
Thank you.
How did you toe that line?
You know what? It was so important to, like you said, not leave my core, but not feel like a dinosaur. You know what I mean? Regardless, you have to continue to progress. And I feel like with me, having something melodically friendly, ear candy, you want to hear it on the radio, you're saying something kind of sassy. I felt like we accomplished that. That was in my head, like, okay, this is going to be new, but I can't stray too far. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it was important because, like I said, with 2017, everything is changing sonically. Like musically, it's changing so fast.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of get in the cut, but not seem like you're reaching. And that was really important for me.
Absolutely. It's everything that we loved about the original, older Ashanti material, but then again, adapted for a 2017 market, which is
Yeah.
really cool. Let's talk about your co-stars on this track. Let's start with Ty Dolla.
Tryna get saved. She wanna get saved. I ain't gon' save her.
First off, is he not the nicest guy in the world?
Oh my gosh, dollar sign. No, I love Ty. He is so dope. He's so cool. It's so funny. I actually FaceTimed him yesterday. I was doing another interview, and I FaceTimed. I had a question. He's in Dubai. He's like, Shanti, what up? Like, he's having a blast. And he's just super humble, super talented.
Oh.
The fact that he just goes in the booth and just comes up with melodies and just his cadence is like, he's super dope. And
It's amazing.
so humble.
And then you got Mustard on the beat. Talked about Mustard.
Yeah, Mustard, super talented. Another one. I was at Mustard's house for what holiday was that? Was it like 4th of July? I
Okay.
think. Yeah. 4th
Out
of
in
July.
California?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, had a blast. Amazing family. I love Mustard's mom. She's super nice. So.
No way.
Yeah, it was really cool.
You know what's funny about Mustard? I heard a story that Mustard was dying for you to put this record out because it was so hot. He's like, if you don't put this out, Ashanti, I'm putting it out on my
Yeah,
album.
he threatened me. We were on a conference call, me and my brother Slow, who's like my A&R, he's putting all of this stuff together, and Mustard, and he was like, listen, what are you doing? Because if you don't put this out, I'm taking this for my album. And I'm like, listen, bro, I got it. Just give me a little time, let me make it right.
Yeah.
So it worked out right.
Yeah, you certainly made it right. I can say that again. You know what? One of my favorite things about you is you're an entrepreneur in every sense of the word, and not just now. You've always kind of been like, because even back in the day, right? You're making these hit records on the Hot 100, but then you're in movies, you're in feature films, you're going Hollywood on us back then.
Yeah.
You're still that to this day, and something as in addition to the single being out, let's talk about the Ciroc commercial.
White villa, villa, not Ciroc, French vanilla.
Hey.
What's amazing about this French vanilla Ciroc commercial is, it's a 30-second spot. It's a pretty standard commercial, but it's star-studded. You got Diddy in there. You got Khaled in there. I
Yep.
like that Salt Bae made his way in there.
Yep.
But you're in it for about 2 seconds, and all the headlines coming out of this commercial were about Ashanti. This is unbelievable.
Listen, it was an amazing experience. It started, me and Puff were at a party in Vegas, and he's talking. He's like, yo, I need you in the Ciroc commercial. And I'm laughing. I'm thinking like, he's just joking around. He's like, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. When I got the text the next day, I'm like, okay, Puff is serious. And it happened in a matter of like weeks. It happened really quick. And I just remember he was in my dressing room when we were shooting, and he was like, yo, I need that Bo Derek moment. I need Ashanti to have that Bo Derek. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like nothing beats Puff's passion. You know what I'm saying? So it turned out really, really dope. I'm so happy. Shout out to my brothers French and Puff, obviously Khaled. It was a great, great, great moment for me.
Absolutely. Speaking of great, how about this billboard on Sunset Boulevard? That's making headlines out in L.A.
Oh my gosh. I was so excited to see it. As soon as I landed in L.A., we were I was on the way to Puff's house, and we had to take Sunset to get there. And this was not planned. I kid you not.
You didn't know it was up there?
No, I knew it was
Okay.
there, but I didn't know that the lift was going to take us that way.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, that's my billboard. We got to stop. The Lyft driver was like, what? What are you talking about? So the funny thing is, how they have those Hollywood trucks, like with the people that want to see Hollywood? So they had one of those vans, and there were a lot of people. And I was waving, and they were waving. And I said, that's my billboard behind you. And they were like, what? And slowly people started to turn around like, wait, is that you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was hilarious. So it was a great moment for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's the relationship like with Ciroc right now? You're a spokesperson. You can kind of speak to that?
You know what? It's so weird. It's like it kind of just morphed into what's the word I'm looking for? Not undocumented. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Just an informal...
Yes,
Yeah.
an informal kind of thing. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I know that I got the call. I know that I hang out with French and Puff, and it just makes sense. It kind of naturally happened. Was there a check involved? Yes. It was fantastic. But, this is French's flavor, and it just happens to taste good. And it looks good.
I got to tell you, you got a bunch in the office right here. I got to taste it after we do this interview. But I wanted to ask you, in one of these press releases I got a couple weeks ago, it said, following, or maybe it was like the wording was like, due to you going viral from this commercial, the single came out. Was it that relationship? Was it like you kind of blew up the world with this commercial and then you dropped the single?
Yeah.
How are they related?
It's so weird because... honestly, I was torn between like 2 or 3 records to put out. And when they cut the commercial, it was like, okay, obviously we're going to put new Ashanti music in the commercial. So I'm just like, okay, let's drop that in there. It was not supposed to turn into, hey, this is my single.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it kind of just morphed into that. So
Isn't that so cool? Like so organic like that?
Yeah, it's really, really a cool thing. It's a great feeling.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, when's the first time you ever met Puff? Was it when you did the Unfoolish? You had to get the Biggie verse?
No, the story is so funny. I was actually about 13 years old, and we were looking for a record deal, and I sat in Puff's office. I sang Mary J. Blige's Reminisce, the first time I met Biggie. And it was just the most surreal moment. And here's the funny thing. So he's sitting at the desk. We're in the office, and he pulls out this cologne, and he's like, "I want you to smell this and tell me what you think." So I'm sitting in there. That's my attorney right there. So funny. I'm sitting there with my attorney and my mom, and they're like, he's like, "Yeah, smell this cologne. Let me know what you think." It is, when I tell you, the most horrendous, disgusting. It smelled like sewer water in a bottle. And
But you
I
can't
was
tell
just
Puff
like,
that.
Oh, I told him.
Oh, you told him
I
at
told
13
him
years old.
I was like, oh, this is horrible. What is this? My mom and my attorney were mortified. Like, oh, she just lost the deal. I can't believe it. And it turns out Puff started dying laughing. He's like, I just wanted to see if you were going to keep it real. He did it,
It
on
was a
purpose.
test.
It was a test. Yeah.
I love that.
How crazy is that? And
That's
he actually
amazing.
did offer a deal. So,
Wow. Yeah, because you signed
Crazy.
your first deal like 14 years old?
yeah, I was signed to Jive Records at 14.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of Unfoolish, I got to ask about this story that I've heard that I want you to clarify. I want to get the details from you about Foolish.
Yes.
Now, of course, any fan of Foolish from back in the day, there's a great little breakdown there where you rap.
See, when I get the strength to leave, you always tell me that you need me.
Which I think is pretty cool. You started rapping a little bit on that song. But that wasn't the original plan, right?
No.
There was a big time rapper. I'll let you fill in the blanks here, but there was a big time rapper back in the day that wanted to get on it.
Yes. Hova.
No way.
It's so crazy. You know, as a new artist, you don't expect so many awesome things to happen. I had no idea that this was in the cards for me. You know, so Irv, obviously being the A&R and the head of the label, he's like, we're going to get Jay on the record. You know what I mean? I don't know if him and Jay talked and Jay said, I want to get on it. Whatever was happening, Jay was supposed to be on that middle section instead of the bridge. He was supposed to be on the record. So he called, and Jay was on the way to the studio. And then I think like 10 minutes later, he called back and canceled. And he was like, nah, we're not going to do the typical R&B thing. You're going to write this record, and you're going to do the whole thing. And I'm like, what? I said all I could say. I don't have anything else more to say on the record. And I can't lie. Irv forced me to write that section of the record.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Canceling on Jay. That's hilarious. I mean, I think the song is amazing as it came out.
But
So
could you
probably-
imagine if we would have done, if I would have had Jay and Big for the Unfoolish remix? That would have been crazy.
Forget about that.
Yeah.
Something I got to ask you about while you're here is, so again, going back to just you being not just an artist but an entrepreneur, and really just a great example for people everywhere, music fans everywhere. Can you talk about these 5 rules of mastering the hustle?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have a specific question. I know one of the rules. Well, 2 of the rules I want to ask you about specifically. One of the rules being that to sort of, and I'm paraphrasing here, but surrounding yourself with moguls, which is probably easier said than done, right? but out of all the moguls that you've been around Irv, you've been around Ja, you've been around Puff, of course. What's the best lesson that you've learned from one of those guys? Or maybe another mogul that comes to mind.
I mean, there are so many different life jewels, that I've picked up along the way from some amazing people. One of the things that sticks out to me is something that Ja said to me, I think the first time we performed together in London. And he said, listen, when this becomes a job or you don't have the passion or the love, don't do it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, this should always be something fun and something that you love because people will know. You know what I mean? And that's something that's kind of stuck with me for a really long time. Like, always have fun regardless, So that's something that stuck with me just for a really, really long time. Kind of just stood out of all of our conversations.
Yeah, that's great advice. And Ja probably is somebody that has never lost that.
Yeah.
That's special.
Yeah.
I got to talk about you and Ja because you are hitting the road for some dates. You've been hitting the road, but you got some dates coming up that are available online, of course, by
Yeah.
following Ashanti across their social media. But I love you guys. I mean, of course, you're an iconic duo, but you see this meme that's going around
Which one?
where it's like, I can't date him unless he can he can spit the Ja lyrics over my Ashanti ad libs. I love that. I mean, you guys are like
love that.
relationship goals on some of these memes. But I wanted to ask you, the dates are coming up, and we'll put them on screen right now for you to check out at home to get those tickets. But you have some obviously classics with Ja, and I was gonna throw 3 at you.
Okay.
And I thought it'd be fun here at Billboard today if you could rank them from first, second, and third, and maybe tell us why.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So I'm gonna give you these between Always on Time, Mesmerize, and Happy. How would you rank those and why?
Oh, gosh. That's hard. And that's a good thing that that's hard. Always on Time, Happy, and Mesmerized. Always on Time, global, massive smash record. Like, smash. The reaction is still the same today, I promise you, as it was in like 2001.
I don't doubt it. Yeah.
Happy, obviously, because it's my record. And then Mesmerize because it's another Ashanti and Ja collab.
And an iconic music video. I mean, you want to talk about like
Absolutely.
top 10 most iconic videos of the century? I'm putting that in the mix.
Thank you. And you know what? Here's a little jewel about Always on Time. That record was not supposed to be for me. That record was for Brandy.
No way.
Yeah.
With Ja attached?
No, it was Ja's record, and I don't know if they pitched it to Brandy or I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it happened the way it happened. But it was originally supposed to be Brandy on the hook. And I don't know if
No
she didn't want to
way.
do it. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But Ashanti was there and on time.
I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. And I gave you my all.
All right, we got some fan questions. We put out a tweet. We got fan questions on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So we'll end the interview right here with some fan-submitted questions. Talking about Say Less, the single, somebody wants to know, when is the video coming out or if there is a video planned for Say Less?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know if I can plug this or not, but I will
Okay.
be on TRL tomorrow.
Okay.
And there'll be a little tease.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah.
All right, little random question here, but somebody wanted to know on Twitter, what is Ashanti's favorite Taylor Swift song?
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe sing a little bit of it?
Back together. What's the name of that
We
song?
Are Never Getting Back Together?
Yes, I like that
Oh,
song.
yeah.
We are never, ever, ever getting back together.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I love that you can get down to some Taylor Swift. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And a big fan, you were telling me of her videos. She makes really cool
Yeah,
videos.
Taylor makes some really incredible videos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, two last questions here. What direction will your new album, if there is an album or larger body work, what direction is that going to take?
It's going to take the direction of Ashanti 2018. And when I say that, I mean my first album, it was just so well thought out and told such a story, you know, and I feel like this time around, I'm kind of reaching down in my gut and putting a lot on the table. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
There are records on there that you're going to be like, did she really just say that? You know what I mean? There are records in there where a few people's feelings are going to be a little hurt.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be a little hurt. But not negative. You're going to party.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have fun. You're going to be swagged out. And I feel like we're in a time where people want to be involved in your journey. People want to know what's going on. That's why there's Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and what have you, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that people want to know. So I feel like you shouldn't show everything because you should keep a little
Yeah.
mystique to
Keep
yourself.
them guessing, for sure.
Exactly. But now you have to give a little more.
Yeah.
You know, people
Yeah.
want to be vested, and they're like, okay, if I'm going to spend my money, I want to be vested in what you're doing.
Right. Think we'll get a Ja record on that album?
Probably.
And this is going back to you being such an entrepreneur and just being involved in so many different businesses. You're the EP on this movie, Stuck.
Yes.
Is there any news on when that will be released? Somebody wanted to know that.
Yeah, it should be released by mid-2018. Hopefully, if not the end. It was stuck in production for a minute, but it was an awesome experience. Some amazing actors. It's basically about 7 different people from 7 different cultures and 7 different walks of life being stuck on a subway in New York City in the summertime. So you have a black female, a white female, an Asian female, a white male, a black guy, a Mexican guy. And the stereotypical names come out. You know, the frustrations come out. And it's just something I felt then. It was a message that people needed to see. And this was like 2 years ago. It's like more prominent now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
so,
a timely story.
Yeah. So it's going to be
Wow.
cool.
I didn't know all that. That's really exciting. I can't wait to see that. Mid-2018, we can keep our eye out for.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for your time in closing here, Ashanti.
Thank
Again,
you.
the single Say Less, available everywhere. And
Yeah.
if you're old enough, pick up a bottle of French vanilla Ciroc, why don't you? Thanks so much.
Thank you.